Hello everybody, my name is CraigBennettII, and today I'm going to be doing a different video than I normally do, and this one's taking a look at a in-game spaceship and comparing how would it work in the real world, like how would it hold up into the real world. For those of you who don't know, I actually do have a background in aerospace, dealing with NASA, rockets, stuff like that, and I've even been in newspapers multiple times dealing with NASA. You can look it up. So with that one in mind, how would this hold up? And by the way, if you do want to see more videos like this, then feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know if you like this, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Plus, let me know any ships and games that you want me to take a look at, and I'll see what I can do in the future. So first things first is we're going to be taking a look at the inside of the ship. So the front area, the main area, this is fine. I'm not really going to be focused on it. The actual lighting I would fix, but it has nothing to do with what I'm about to talk about. The major thing I want to focus on inside the ship is this airlock. It is dumb. The fact of the matter is in order to use it, I have to open it up. There's no way for me to close it, and if I open up the ladder to get out, by stepping right here, the door can finally close. But the fact is there's no way to have that close while, let's see if I can trick the system into actually doing it. Yeah, the system won't even close the door because there's no way for it to, it'll have to go through me. And the problem with this is you got people sleeping. You literally have people sleeping here, and that's creating a problem into itself. In my opinion, that door should easily been, that particular door should easily been in this area. The fact of the matter is you already have a problem here, and why double it by actually killing everybody that's sleeping, or at least in this area, by sucking them outside and sucking all the oxygen outside. And you can easily make this into your airlock and cargo room, and just make it where the two doors are closed, and you know that door never opens up if either that or that one back there is open, and that way it protects the crew inside without having problems. On top of that, my other problem with this design is if I was to make this has a little bit less to deal with my experience, but just more of common sense. I would have what's called a linear shaped charge here. Linear shaped charge, basically more or less explosive that looks like a Pac-Man thing. It's meant to cut through metal real quick in an instant. They put linear shaped charges across the rockets, so if it does some weird things, they can immediately blow up the rockets, releasing all the fuel all at once if they need to. This happens more or less on the solid rocket than the other, like solid rocket booster. It does not stop until the fuel is out. So, the charge blowing that out actually stops that because it, eliminates all the fuel at once. But a linear shaped charge, you can blow this back half out and use this front half as an escape pod all into itself, while allowing the people to keep their amenities, food and bathroom and whatnot, and they can go by. And by the way, if they really want to use these as escape pods also, that is also possible. Just make it as a secondary escape pod, as individual escape pods, because if they're stuck out here for a week or 2 weeks, then they got some food and they got a bathroom. Maybe not the best of situations, but it's better than stuck in that for a week or 2 weeks. In my opinion, that's just a better way of going about it. But if we take a look at the back, one thing I do like about this is you got a pretty good system back here that locks the thing in place if you need to. So if I go out here real quick, you can actually see that if there is any water or anything out here, you can actually put heaters here to help with that, to eliminate that problem. Now, with that one in mind, I want to mention something that a lot of people may not know, is these joints, they are a nightmare. They are a thing that can kill the entire ship and all the passengers inside of it. So a big thing to note is, so doors and stuff like that, you can't really do much about other than, throw some heaters on there and hope for the best type of situation. But look at this. This literally has a vent to go in. And this is a problem. So if you're, the problem here is if you actually get some liquid in there, if it turns into gas, like it all turns into gas almost at once, it can literally blow the turret out or the engine out or whatever it may be, which is a problem. If it turns into ice, it can crack things and also blow things out, so which is a problem. So don't have that. In my opinion, what should have happened with the turrets, especially with them, is they should have had their own housing units, similar to what the actual lakes have, where to go up, and that way it stops any problems from happening there. The big thing to note here, though, is if we take a look at the engines, this is where a big no-no comes in my experience. So taking a look at this, oh, but by the way, for those of you who don't know, what this engine does is it's like an Osprey. If you don't know what Osprey is, look it up. It's a real-world airplane where the engines are like that for airplane mode, or it tilts up and down for helicopter mode. I think it's going to be like that for like landing and stuff. It hadn't been fully implemented, but if it was in the real world, this is a no-no. The reason why is you're dealing with a space to atmosphere, atmosphere space. The fact is you're going high speeds. If you're going low speeds, like regular plane and whatnot, you might be able to do this. Keep in mind, Osprey is not as efficient as a regular airplane or a helicopter, but it's good for what its job is, as more or less a drop ship or whatever. The fact of the matter is this is going to be going through the atmosphere at high speeds, and if it is just purely for space, you can literally make this station into a spaceship. As long as you don't turn it too fast, everything's fine. The fact of the matter is, it's like a Borg cube or whatever. It's fine in space, but once it gets into atmosphere, it has to deal with certain rules, and this is a no-no. So what's going to happen is, for those of you who don't know, gases are known as a fluid, and like any fluid, like you might match with like water or whatever, it sticks with the skin of an object as much as it can. And what's going to end up doing is it's going to build up here into a pressure, and it's going to end up probably pushing this out, depending on the strength of this and the amount of pressure and stuff like that. It's going to push that out just a little bit, where it's going to push that side out, that side in. And because the wings, how they're shaped, all of the stuff on them and whatnot, and the size, I can tell you they're not really used for turning. They're look more for stability. So with that one in mind, the engines, because they're used for turning, power the engine more or less to turn, what the fact of the matter is this will hurt the steering by far. And plus, on top of that, if this is not highly maintained, that's just one of my biggest problems with this, is if it's highly maintained, yeah, sure, you can probably make this happen. But if it's not highly maintained, like space trucker type of deal, because note how many trucks are on side of road in real world, and note that this is that type of age, was you're going to have individuals owning ships like this. The fact is if this is not highly maintained, you can easily get it where this pops off and it can kill the people inside and some people on the ground if it hits them. There's problems all around. Dirt and stuff can get in there. You got problems and stuff like that. That's also another one of my problems with there. You got a gun that's aimed towards the front with no protection. You're going to have some atmospheres that has a lot of dirt and debris. It goes in there, jams the gun. That means you have to have your person go outside in a vacuum, clean out the gun, hopefully not in the middle battle, to fix the problem. A simple solution to this that would actually make it more aerodynamic is a cup that would go over it that when you're about to shoot, or when a thing is detecting that you have the ability to shoot, it lowers it. It makes it where the cup's not covering the barrel. But other than that, it covers it, and that way you have like a little point to it, so it helps with the drag issue. Also helps with blocking things from going in. So you got multiple things like that. And by the way, to emphasize that liquid problem, if liquid got behind here, like the vents, and it blew it out, it will blow this out, whack that, and kill everybody inside. So you got problems there. Another problem that I found with this ship is the airlock. Why is it not flat, same level as this up here? It's getting late. I'm missing words and whatnot. But why is it not to the same level as that? This in itself creates drag, which can create problems, heat, and other problems into itself, and can damage one of your abilities to get out, or a rescue ship to get in. You don't want that. Another problem is, again, we're going back to the drag issue, is why is there a lip right here? There is no reason for that. So a simple solution to a lot of this is smooth that out. The glass, from my understanding, is like some aluminum, transparent aluminum, so fine. It's supposed to be shown as steel, so fine. If I had a boss, you need to keep this in, then I'll have it where this can actually have a housing unit. It'll go in and they'll protect it from any problems like that. Same thing with the turret on the back. It will go in, have a housing unit of itself. And same thing back here, that its guns will actually be smoothed out because it faces the same problem as the engines. And if I had a boss that comes in the office and say, you need to keep the engines like this where they're exposed a little, so it helps with the osprey thing. Well, to solve a lot of these issues, from about right here on the turret out here, is I'll make sure it's not going to interfere with the turret itself, but the turret's not going to really focus backwards because the engine itself anyways. So what I would do is I would actually have it where it goes out a little bit, and it doesn't cover the engine at all, but what happens is it guides the atmosphere to the engine. Because if you take a look at it, it works the same way as a jet engine for the most part. Maybe a little bit different, but with that, it does not stop that function. It basically guides the air in and actually makes the engine probably more efficient, believe it or not. Now, one of the other problems I have with this is the ship uses the engines to turn and not the wings. This is highly ineffective. Basically, it requires that you use more fuel in this to get it to turn at all, especially if you want it to turn 100% around, whereas you should be able to just use the wings. The wings are not really wide enough to do anything with. They're probably good enough for stability, and that's about it. So with that one in mind, it might sound like I just said, okay, this is like a terrible ship. You will die if you go into it, especially if it's not maintained at all. And yes, that is 100% correct. Because I mean, there's even areas like this where why do you have this? The fact is so again, on a ship, airplane, spaceship, whatever, you want to have your energy go the same direction on everything. So forward, back, whatever. Where unfortunately with this, some of the energy goes, yes, it does go back, but the fact is it kind of goes my way on this side and the other way on that side. So it's not direct forward, back. But with this, where does the energy go to? So this captures the atmosphere, and that means it does go back, but it goes back up. The only advantage to this I can see is like an air brake, but the problem is it goes back up. And the only thing I see it doing, unless it's like an air brake, is maybe capturing the atmosphere and using that for cooling, That could be something. But the thing is you have this here. So why have that? And plus, it's creating more strain on that area. Why? I'm thinking what ended up happening is when they did the designs, they said, wow, that makes it look like it's more stronger. And yeah, it does, but no, it makes it massively more weaker. That is a death trap into itself. That could potentially rip off the wings, depending on the stresses and whatnot. Keep in mind if it's attached to the back pretty well, which it does not appear to be really attached hardly at all. If at all. Is it even attached? Crap, the whole thing's not even attached. So basically, you got an entire thing right here, front to back, that's not attached to the ship, but attached to the joint. The thing's not even attached. So you got the thing that is attached to the joint. It has a back up motion. This thing already has a back out motion, and on the other side it's back out that way. And it's possibly, with this going back up and this going back out, this is going to cause that to do that, and it's going to rip the freaking things off as it's going through the atmosphere if it's going high enough speed and high enough stresses, and things are not maintained properly. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. So yeah, I didn't notice that until just now. Huh. So that sucks. So as far as, let's try to find some good things about the ship. You can name a lot of bad things. Pretty much tell you that if this was real, I wouldn't step foot into it unless you got some voodoo technology into it that, you know, would never exist in real world. The fact is this is a death trap. So what's some good things? So one thing I've noticed is the bottom of it is seam line. Once you have the landing pads up, the feet up, basically it becomes even more streamlined, but it is very streamlined on the bottom, unlike the top where it has a little bit of problems. Obviously you got a little bit of bumps right here and there. There's not much you can do about that. It's, you know, it's like the top. I kind of forgive it to the point. But with that, there doesn't seem to be much waste on the bottom. As far as the top is streamlined all the way up to this access point. But basically the access point, if it was flush with the actual top right here, then it'll be fine. So there is a few good designs, but I would never want to ride in this if this was real. Yeah, did not expect that. Now, if you do want me to check out a different ship, and if you think I missed something or might have messed up somewhere, then let me know. And if you do got some tips on doing this videos, then let me know. But if you want me to do a different type of ship in the future, let me know. I'll see what I can do, and also let me know what game it is in, so I can see if I have the game at all. But I'll see you next video. Hope you have a great day. Leave a like, subscribe, share, and also check out the links down below. Hope you have a great day.